bullet skip, or what's commonly known as ricochet, is something that needs to be considered whenever you're in an environment with heavy solid structures, or if you're using something as cover in response to a bad guy who's actually in a public space. So if we look at this concrete block over here, this is going to be something a little different than we've ever done at Personal Defense Network before, because usually when we demonstrate skip, we use steel targets. Well, the truth is that the harder and flatter the surface that you're shooting against, the more parallel to the surface that bullet is going to skip off. So if you're using steel, you're going to see the bullets come off almost completely parallel with that surface. Using something like this concrete block, obviously a construction material that's very common in the public space, is going to give us a different result. So as usual, I'm going to start at what is a relatively shallow angle. So again, imagine that that's a concrete wall, and this is you or some other person who has stepped out beyond the wall, and this bad guy shooting at you is going to miss 3 or 4, maybe even 5 feet over to the right. I'm going to lower myself down, get down into a position where I'm about parallel with that block. I'm going to drive out, and again, think about it, I'm firing at about a 30, maybe 45-degree angle, and I am way off from that target. If we go in there and take a look, we're going to see that I've created this big divot in the concrete block. Of course, that never happens with steel. We just hit the target and slide right off. But even though there's a divot there, we still see that most of this splash, most of what's come over here and hit the target, especially the biggest pieces, are relatively close to parallel, because this is a hard and flat surface, and that was a relatively shallow angle. Now I'm going to go ahead and move over so that I'm at a much steeper angle. Now I'm at more of a 60 or 70-degree angle into the block. Again, I'm going to lower myself down, take a shot, and if we come out here, we're going to see that, again, we've got a divot. That divot's a little bit deeper, and now we've got still a lot of things that are over here along that parallel line, but some of the heavier pieces came out a little bit further. Now think about what this means. If I'm in a situation where this is the corner of the cover that I've got, and I step out this far beyond it, somebody can miss me by 2 or 3 feet, by 10 or 20 or 30, 45 degrees, and still cause damage to me. Is it going to be as bad as being hit directly by a bullet? No, of course not. But it is going to cause damage. So this is another reason why it's important not to go beyond your cover and to expose as little as possible. Even if I were to come over here into a situation where I was just slightly exposed, we can see that someone can miss a hard, flat surface. The bullet can skip off and hit us. And remember, this skip effect also happens on the horizontal plane. So if you're standing behind something like a car, somebody shoots low and goes under the car, those bullets aren't going to bounce off at a 45-degree angle. They're going to follow very close to that concrete or asphalt and come right under the car in most circumstances. So remember, when you're operating in any kind of an environment around hard, flat surfaces, stay away from those parallel lines, and also try to be back from your cover, because obviously the further back we are from cover, the more that angle can take effect and pull that shrapnel, those pieces of bullet, the sharp jacket, and even pieces of the brick or concrete surface away from hurting us.